Firstly, it's an absolute pleasure speaking at the Ekamra festival. I wish I could have been there. It's such an important festival, celebrates sport, and also in Bhubaneswar, a place that I've always wanted to come to, visit, see, miss so many opportunities. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it this time too. Uh, but but lovely talking to all of you. As far as Ghoomer goes, Ghoomer was a film that I'm a cricket crazy person. So when I thought of doing a film on cricket, the first thing is, actually it makes you nervous because you're so cricket crazy, you're so particular about everything about the sport. First, it's one thing actually getting the technicalities of the sport right. Of course, you have to get it. You can't cheat. So if you truly love something, you'll give back. You just not take. And I truly wanted to do that in Ghoomer. So our way of doing it was to actually, while the story was there, the story, of course, was a story of a girl who was a great batsman, who was a prodigy. She loses her right hand, and how somebody trains her, and she, succeeds in kind of becoming a remarkable bowler with her left arm. So to me, the proudest moment of doing Ghoomer was not borrowing from the sport, but giving back to sport. So you can come out of your comfort zone and make a sports film. Of course, if you have enough people around you to help you to understand the sport. For example, if I was going to do a film on, let's say, ice hockey or baseball, okay, I would study the sport. Of course, every director would study the sport, but I wouldn't be an expert in the sport. I wouldn't know exactly what makes that sport tick. Ghoomer is not based on any sportsman's life. It was not even loosely based on a sportsman's life. There was an incident about a Hungarian shooter who had lost his right arm, and he won the Olympic gold by training with his left arm. It actually was a feat accomplished by a Hungarian shooter. We took that feat and said, let's create a story around this feat. So it was not based on anybody's life. So I think it's not about. And Ghoomer is not a sports film. It's a film about two individuals who are both losers. Losers who kind of, are grabbing at their last chance to kind of win or to kind of stand up and kind of fulfill their dream. So Ghoomer is not a typical sports film. I've always been puzzled by that because I just believe that finally you're making a film and the film needs to engage the audience. You're using the life story of a person to engage the audience. You're not kind of trying to do an ode to somebody. Yes, because he's a great person and you feel that people are going to be interested in that. So you do it. So I always felt that what is wrong in fictionalizing things a bit for the sake of cinema. But, of late, when I go and see films about sportsmen, about Maradona, about even Beckham, about something, it could be documentaries, but they're actually almost like stylized documentaries, almost like films. Of course it is. Yes, and sometimes the stories are so good that you don't have to touch it. In fact, if you waver from it, it'll kind of weaken the film. But yes, of course it is. But if you stop making films, if you stop making biopics at the drop of a hat, we want to make biopics of everything because we get a thread of some kind of a achievement or some kind of a newsworthiness about a person and want to make a quick film out of it and dramatize everything out of scope. See, it's a dilemma. It actually depends on the moral conscience of a filmmaker or the take of a filmmaker on life itself. It is not for me to say, yes, that is correct or that is wrong. If I were a filmmaker and I had somebody, I don't know, say for example, Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi to do a film on, I'd be very, very careful because there'll be so many young people who've never seen Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi play or know anything about him. So for me, it is about representing that person to this generation, not just in glorious terms, but also truly the character that the person was. Because that's why you're making a biopic, to tell people more, to tell more people about that person, people who didn't know about him. Of course, an interesting genre, but I wouldn't do a typical sports film. I mean, I would do a film only if I felt that it was unique and it hasn't something like that hasn't been done before. But I would not do a sports film for the sake of doing a sports film. I'd rather watch sport. I don't know. I personally wouldn't do it because of course, the story is going to be fascinating. It's got box office gold written all over it. So I feel it's that kind of a film. But I don't know what interests me about that film because IPL is not a new idea. It is a Super League idea already that exists, which we adapted to cricket. I don't know. I'm not a guy who's looking for biopics to do. I'm not going to say that. I want to do a story on this person's life or that person's life. Yes, I admire a lot of cricketers, from Sachin to Viv Richards to Virat to Rohit. I like all these people. But do I really want to? Bishan Singh Bedi was a glorious character. Do I really want to do a film on their lives? I don't know because I'm into actually writing fiction. I want to write fiction. I want to tell stories that don't exist, that new stories that people have to hear, not recreating stories that already have happened.